Indivisible obligations and obligations with a penal clause. Now let's go to the concept of indivisible obligations. So what are indivisible obligations? These are obligations which cannot be performed in parts, cannot be performed in installments. So isahan siya ang pag-perform sa obligation. Like an obligation to deliver a car. Can you divide or perform on separate occasions the delivery of a car? Of course not. Why? You cannot deliver first the tires. Pag human sa ligid, i-deliver na pod nimo ang engine, tapos ang windows, ang doors. No, you have to deliver the car in its entirety to preserve the integrity of the obligation. Mo na siyang ginatawag nga indivisible obligation. So when you say indivisible obligations, we are referring to the subject matter of the obligation, which is indivisible. Dili nimo pwede tunga-tungaon ang performance ng obligation. As I've said, dili nimo pwede unahon ang ligid, tapos ang engine, tapos ang pultahan sa car. No. Because the obligation here is indivisible. Di pwede ma-divide. So, it cannot be performed in parts. Now, does it follow that if the obligation is indivisible and there are two debtors, the obligation is also solidary? Is indivisibility equivalent to solidarity? Does it follow? Of course, no. Why? When you say indivisibility class, you are referring to the subject matter. Diba? When you say solidarity, you are referring to the tie that exists between the two debtors or the two creditors sa parties involved. Monong solidarity. If you can still remember joint and solidary obligations, magmatter siya sa tie, sa relationship that exists between those creditors and those debtors. So they are not the same. Indivisibility is not equivalent to solidarity. So an obligation can be indivisible, but at the same time, the obligation is joint. Or an obligation can be solidary, but the subject matter is divisible. For example, as flashed on the screen, we have A and B committed to deliver to X a car. So what is the nature as to the subject matter? It is indivisible. Why? Because it is a car. So as to the tie between them, there is concurrence of debtors, where in case of silence, their obligation is joint. Remember, if the problem is silent, what's the presumption? What's the obligation? It's joint. Unless it is specifically stated in the problem or agreed to by the parties that their obligation is solidary, then the obligation is solidary. But in case the problem is silent, then the presumption is the obligation is joint. So, going back to the example, A and B committed to deliver to X a car. If X demands now from A the delivery of the car, can he compel A to deliver the car? Take note, that the obligation is joint. So, the liability of A here is only half. So, can he compel A? Pwede ba mapugos ni X si A to deliver the entire car? The answer is no. He cannot compel A alone. Why? If it is a joint obligation class and the liabilities of A and B are distinct from each other, but because the subject matter is indivisible, he cannot also alone compel A to deliver the car alone. Because again, it is not solidary. So what should be done by X? Kasi si X man diri ang creditor. X must bring the demand against both A and B. Dili lang kay A, dili lang kay B alone, but both of them. Because again, the subject matter here is indivisible. So, X can now compel the delivery of the entire car if he brings the demand against both A and B. Now, what if X demands from both A and B to deliver the entire car, but A is not yet ready to comply with the part or with his part of the undertaking? Si B ready na to deliver the car, but A dili pa. And remember, joint ni siya, so 50-50 sila as to the liability. Now, how can X compel the delivery of the car? So in that case, if one of the debtors in a joint obligation is not ready to comply, then the obligation is converted into one for damages. And the obligation now becomes monetary. So, ang obligation ma-convert, di ba indivisible siya kasi the subject matter is a car. Cannot be performed in installments, cannot be performed in parts. So, mahitabo, since the other joint debtor is not yet ready to comply with his obligation, with his part of obligation, ang mahitabo ana, ma-convert ang obligation into monetary obligation. So, ang indivisible obligation, i-convert to monetary. Ang sa mahitabo, ang car na indivisible na subject matter, the obligation will be converted to a monetary obligation. Pasabot, how much ang value ng car? So, let's say the car is worth 1 million. So, ma-convert ang delivery ng car, the entire car, to 1 million pesos. So, ang mahitabo, 500,000 liability ni A, 500,000 liability ni B. And since B is ready to comply with his obligation, so B now will pay X 500,000. Si A, since he's not yet ready to comply, wala pa siya pambayad, wala pa siya 500,000, utangan pa siya kay X. Okay? So again, remember this rule. If one of the debtors in a joint obligation is not yet ready to comply with his part of the undertaking, then the obligation will be converted into one for damages, meaning it will become monetary. Okay? So that is if the obligation is joint. If it is A who is not yet ready and A alone shall be liable for damages, magbayad siya. Say for example, the car is, katong ingon nako 1 million. The obligation is now converted to the payment of 1 million plus damages. Why? Nganong naay damages? Because naay delay on the part of the debtors to deliver the car. Because A is not yet ready to comply with his obligation. Kaya may damages. And it is A alone who is liable for damages plus his share in the 1 million pesos. Okay? It was not immediately complied with because A was not yet ready. So there is damages. Assuming damages amounts to 100,000. So in that case, 1 million will be divided equally between A and B. Then the damages will be shouldered by A alone, who is the one not ready to comply with his obligation. So ang bayro nun ni B is 500,000. Si A is 500,000 plus the 100,000 worth of damages. Total liability of A is 600,000 pesos. That is, class, if the obligation is joint. Now, what if the obligation is solidary? So we have solidary obligation of A and B to deliver a car to X. Here, X can go to A alone for the delivery of the car. X also can go to B alone for the delivery of the entire car. Okay? For example, X goes to A and demands from A the delivery of the car. A is ready but B is not. And because of that, A was not able to deliver the car. Again, with respect to the creditor, any one of A and B can be held liable for the entire obligation because the obligation is solidary. But in reality, between A and B, mag-contribute po na sila. Okay, assuming na default si A because of the inability of B to contribute. So damages can be sought by X either against A or B, even though in reality it was B alone who was not able to comply with the undertaking. So any one of them can be held liable for damages, but between the two of them, so for example, A is now required to deliver the car plus damages of 100,000. So his total expense will be 1,100,000 pesos ang ihatag niya kay X. But between them, mag-contribute gihapon na sila. So A can demand from B the share of B in the car plus the damages. So he can collect from B 500,000 pesos plus the 100,000 pesos na damages because it was B, okay, who was not ready to comply with his obligation. But as to X class, bisag kinsa pwede pabayro ni X ng 1 million plus damages. Kasi remember in solidary obligation, one for all for one. Remember the insolvency of a solidary debtor, okay, shall be shouldered by the other solidary debtors. Kasi one for all for one. There is solidarity between them. But after payment to the creditor, let's say si A, just like in our example, nakabayad na siya ng 1 million plus 100,000 na damages. Between them, between A and B, A is entitled to reimbursement from B of how much? The share of B of 500,000 plus the 100,000 pesos na damages, which shall be shouldered only by B alone. So, mo tong ibayad ni B kay A, 600,000 pesos. Let's go to obligations with penal clause. So what is a penal clause? So we have articles 1226 to 1230. No? In the case of Philinvestland versus CA, so the Supreme Court had the occasion to define what a penal clause is. So according to the Supreme Court, a penal clause is an accessory undertaking to assume greater liability in case of breach. When you say breach, in case of violation, in case of non-compliance. It is attached to an obligation to ensure performance, and it has a double function. So what are those functions of the penal clause? So we have to provide for liquidated damages. Liquidated ng damages meaning ang amount readily available na. And number 2, to strengthen coercive force of obligation by threat of greater responsibility in the event of breach. So remember, class, that a penal clause has to be agreed upon in order to be present in an obligation. So, dapat specific siya. Okay? Specified sa obligation. If there is no penal clause being agreed upon by the parties, then walang penal clause. Okay? Di mag-assume ng penal clause. If the problem is silent as to penal clause, then there's no penal clause. Okay? It has to be agreed upon. It has to be stipulated by the parties. Like for example, A is committed to deliver to X a car with a penal clause stating A is to pay 50,000 pesos in case of non-compliance. Now, the 50,000 pesos takes the place of your damages and interest in case there is a breach. Okay? In case there is non-compliance. It does not take the place of the principal obligation. The principal subject matter, which is the car. Okay? Remember, it takes the place of the damages and the interest in case of non-compliance, in case of breach. So, A cannot just say, okay, I'll just pay 50,000 na lang and I will not deliver the car because of that penal clause. Penal clause. No, that's wrong. That's incorrect, no? Because the concept of penal clause here is that it takes the place of the damages and the interest in case of non-compliance and not the place of the principal subject matter of the principal obligation. Okay? So what are the rules that we have to remember insofar as a penal clause is concerned? Again, remember that the penalty shall substitute the indemnity for damages and the payment of interest in case of non-compliance if there is no stipulation to the contrary. So again, that's a general rule. So when you have a penal clause, it is already the substitute for damages and for interest in case there is breach. So you can no longer collect other damages or interest. Why? Because the penal clause now takes the place of those items. However, there is an exception. And this is the exception. Damages shall be paid if the obligor refuses to pay the penalty or he is guilty of fraud in the fulfillment of the obligation. So in those particular instances, damages may still be recovered. Like for example, in the case of A, no? If A will not pay the 50,000 pesos na penalty, still A is liable to pay for damages. Okay? Also, when the nature of obligation clearly shows that penalty is separate from the payment of interest and damages, then the obligor, the debtor, would have to pay for the penalty apart from the interest and the damages stipulated by the parties. Okay? So what is important under the concept of penal clause? So remember here that actual damages need not be proved. because again, the purpose of stipulating a penalty is for the convenience of the parties. Once there is breach, you can already invoke the amount mentioned in the contract. In fact, that is precisely the reason why you stipulate for a penal clause, to do away with the hassle of proving the amount of damages, because again, there is no need to prove actual damages here as far as a penal clause is concerned. However, you only need to prove that there is breach. There is breach, there is violation, there is non-compliance. You need to prove that there is breach so you can get the amount mentioned in the agreement as to the penal clause, okay, the penalty mentioned. Another important feature here is, can we reduce the penalty? Because usually in a contract, there is voluntariness and intelligence between the parties. So they fully know the contents of the contract and understand the contract and voluntarily entered into the contract. So the penal clause, by way of stipulation, is one of the provisions that is voluntarily and intelligently agreed upon by the parties. So can they still ask from the court to modify the amount of the penalty when they already agreed to it? The answer is yes. There are situations provided under the Civil Code wherein the parties can still go to the court, ask the court to reduce the amount of the penalty. Okay? Despite the fact that they have already agreed the amount thereof. So, penalty can be reduced under instances provided in the Civil Code. Number one, when the principal obligation is partly complied with. So, if there is partial compliance with the principal obligation, then the parties can still ask the court to reduce the amount of the penalty. When the principal obligation is irregularly complied with, there is compliance but irregular ang compliance, poor ang compliance, poor ang performance. Remember, katong gipakanta si A sa birthday ni B, poor ang performance kay nayabag siya. So was there compliance? Was there performance? Yes. But was there a poor or irregular performance? Yes. So there are defects, okay, for example. So the same thing, the court will reduce the penalty. Okay? Next, when the penalty is iniquitous or unconscionable. When we say iniquitous, unconscionable, shocking to the conscience of men, meaning taas ra kaayo, unreasonable amount, dako ra kaayo siya. So if dako ra kaayo ang amount ng penalty, then the court can reduce the penalty. Of course, it must be with the consent of the parties. So the parties must agree among themselves to go to court for the reduction of the amount of penalty on the grounds that it is iniquitous or unconscionable. Okay? Okay. Also remember under Article 1227 that the debtor cannot exempt himself from the performance of the obligation by paying the penalty. This is what I've told you kaganiha, katong sa tong first example, wherein A is committed to deliver to X a car with a penal clause stating that A is to pay 50,000 pesos in case of non-compliance. So again, A cannot just say that I will no longer fulfill the obligation, I will just pay the penalty of 50,000. Of course, he cannot do that. He has to fulfill the obligation unless this right has been expressly reserved for him. That is the exception. Okay? So, nakasulat na gyud sa contract na he has the option of fulfilling the obligation or paying the penalty. That could be possible if it is expressly stated in the contract. But if the contract is silent class, then the debtor cannot just pay the penalty and would say na he will no longer fulfill the obligation. Di na siya pwede, okay? Another would be the creditor cannot demand the fulfillment of the obligation and the satisfaction of the penalty at the same time. Dili pwede na mayroon si creditor, okay A, you deliver to me the car, at the same time you give me 50,000 pesos for the penal clause na penalty, which is 50,000 pesos, then that's not allowed. Okay? Dili pwede both. That's a general rule. When there is already a breach and there is a penalty clause mentioned, general rule, you can just get the penalty. You cannot get both the fulfillment of the obligation plus the penalty. So pag may breach, then get the penalty. That's a general rule. Except na pod, when this right has been clearly granted to him. It's not even required to be stipulated in the contract. It only depends on the nature of the obligation. For example, a contract of loan, and then there is a stipulation for penalty in case of default. Can the debtor just say, okay, because I'm now in default, I will just pay the penalty. I will no longer pay the principal. I will no longer fulfill my obligation. No. Of course, dili pwede. In that particular case, the right of the debtor to be paid, to pay the obligation, the right of the debtor to pay the obligation and the penalty has been clearly granted him because of the nature of the obligation, even if it is not being stipulated, but by the very nature of the obligation, then the debtor has to pay the contract of loan and of course the penalty in case of default.